It's Sound of Nashville Open Air Day 2, and I'm here with the one and only Brent Cobb. Thanks for coming.
Howdy, glad to be here.
It's been like, I guess about 6 years ago, you were the last time in Germany.
Yep, it's been 6 years ago.
Yeah. So we had a little bit like something in between.
Yeah,
but,
the whole world shut down there for it. You know, it was things out of our hands that kept us from. We were supposed to be here in 2020 with the Cadillac 3.
Yeah.
And obviously we couldn't come for obvious reasons. And it's been a cool trip though, man, to be in the UK and Europe again and sort of test the waters and see where we're at. So far, so good.
So, I still can remember your last two shows you had. You were here in like 2017 and 2018.
That's right.
Can you remember your first show in Germany?
Yeah, vaguely. I do remember that a guy brought, I think it was the first one, he brought beers out, like, German beers to that show here somewhere. I don't remember where we played, but, he was really excited to give us some German beers. I think, was that the one that Jade Bird opened or did Coulter Wall open? Because
no, you did a solo acoustic show in Hamburg.
Right. I think I've played Cologne though. Also,
you also played in Cologne, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was. Did Coulter Wall open either of those shows?
No, you were solo acoustic. Only you and
Mike Harris.
Mike Harris, yeah.
But see, I think that was that tour that we had Coulter Wall open for us most of that tour, which is bizarre. I highly recommend never letting Coulter Wall open for you.
Yeah, just what I have to say about that, because I was there at that show, and I loved it because after the show you came to the crowd and you thanked everybody to be there. And so you are like the most kind Southern guy I have ever met.
Oh man, well I still do that. I tell a half joke at my shows that goes, it's only taken me nearly 20 years to get to the bottom of my career. And I'm just glad to be here. And so there was a lot, many years where people didn't care at all. And so I'm always happy to go shake everybody's hands.
Yeah. And we don't tell the audience what happened after the show because we went into a dive bar and it got really drunk.
Really?
Yeah, we did.
Me and you?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Hey man, I don't remember that.
You called Drake White via FaceTime. And,
Drake? I called Drake? Wow.
And it was about thing. So
yeah, that's been a minute ago. Yeah.
So man, but
that's awesome.
Yeah. But it was cool.
May do it tonight too, because we don't have anything. This is our last show of the night, so we might be celebratory.
So, but not joking about past times. So because it was 2016, 17, around there. So what has changed for you since then?
Well, let's see. As far as a career goes, I started my own record label, and I put out my own albums now, where then I was on a major label, I was on Elektra, and I have grown. I got a son now. I had a daughter back then, and now I have a son and a daughter. And I don't know, man. As far as crowds, there's people really care. There's been a lot of people showing up at my shows the last year or so, and it's been a cool time, man. Actually, 2020, I was hoping to see the growth that we've now been able to see. We didn't get to see it in 2020, and I put out 3 albums since the last time I was here, and bunch of old stuff has happened.
So in this time, you found your way back home to Georgia.
Right.
So what made you pursue that decision to move away from Nashville back home?
Mainly just my kids. We wanted to raise them where we grew up. When we grew up in the South. Sorry, that's a hair tie. We grew up in Georgia and just wanted to raise my kids down there. I'd been in Nashville for 10 years,
So has that strengthened your creativity to be back where you grew up?
Maybe so. I don't know. It's different now. I sort of write in cycles now. Where when I was in Nashville, I wrote Monday through Sunday, and around the clock. Now I am dad for a block, and then I'm touring artist for a block, and then I'm feed the geese in the pond and feed the animals, and then I might write, So I don't know if it's more. I'm definitely more centered than I once was. Yeah.
So and I would say the result of going back to Georgia is your latest record, Southern Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. It turns a year in a month. In a fucking month.
I know. I keep wanting to say that it's new. I say that. I was like, I got a new album out. And I'm like, oh shit, it's a year old. But what's cool about over here is I have 3 albums that I've put out since I've been here. And so everything is kind of new, you know?
Yeah. Are you playing the older stuff too today?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I always play. I play all the stuff, man.
Yeah.
I can't really call them hits, but they're fun to play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, how would you self describe the sound of the album? Because I feel it's more laid back than like the Providence Canyon or something.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I say that. But I say like not just this album, but I've been saying it's Southern eclectic. You know, it's there's a lot of moods of the American South. You know, and I try to. Sometimes I rock, sometimes I roll, sometimes a little country, sometimes a little soul. It's all Southern, and that's what this album is. That's what this set will be today. You know, I think it surprises people, our live shows, because they, you know, they come hearing the laid back stuff, which I think is what people like to ride down the road and they listen to that. And then when they come to our show, we kind of rock, you know. But I have a history of writing sort of rock songs. You know, I write songs that have been recorded by Whiskey Myers and Blackberry Smoke and, you know, Steel Woods. And I write everything, man. Yeah.
So one of the standout tracks for me is when country came back to town.
Everything it changes over time. Well, all I know for certain is I'm glad I was around when country came back to town. Oh, when country came back to town.
So this was the one that was in the media and the press. So, but it's also like it's the longest one on the record, right?
Song.
In the first verse, you're singing about a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
The late and great Rowdy Cope, man.
Yeah, damn, yeah. Actually, today I'm missing the Steelwoods last show. I didn't know they were going to do it, and we already had this booked in Black Mountain, Rowdy's hometown, which is where Jason Rowdy Cope was born. You know, that's where they played their first show, was Black Mountain, North Carolina. And we did it last year with him. It was magic, man. But yeah, Rowd would, when I started going to LA, he'd like take me under his wing, you know, and like help show me the ropes and help me grow up as a musician, a songwriter, but also as a person. And I miss him very much, man. He had a lot, you know, of influence on what the state of country music now, you know. People may not know it, but he was playing on all those records that influenced other records, you know, that now look at it, you know. It's pretty amazing.
So how much of Rowdy is living in the new record?
Oh, totally, man. Yeah, I mean, all of it. I mean, I think about this a lot, not just with Rowdy, but I think Rowdy made me begin to think of this is when people die, we miss them dearly, right? You know, especially if they have a special place in your heart. And it's sad, but it's also amazing that the little pieces of them that you think when they die, you go, oh man, it just sucks because they don't live anymore, but they do still live through us, through like whoever that is to you or whoever it is to me. Those little pieces of that spirit and character, it's up to us to continue to make that live, you know, and we don't really have any control over it. And so it's bitter and sweet, I suppose.
That's beautifully said, man.
Yeah, man, isn't life though. What's up, old buddy?
Was Tyler System just walking around here, so besides of working with Rowdy, so who are the guys in the industry you like to write the most with?
Well, let's see. I mean, Aaron Ratier is one of them. Adam Hood. Let's see. Meg McCree, who is playing here, by the way.
Yeah, she was here on Friday. Yeah.
Oh, she already played.
Yeah.
Dang it! I hate I missed Meg. All right. I don't know, Ben Chapman, who is Meg's not better half, Meg's his better half. Anyway, them. There's a bunch of folks, man. I don't know. Red Clay Strays, Drew Nix. Is great to write with. Anybody who will have me. That's my favorite.
So just going back to when country came back to town, you were singing about all those true Americana or traditional leaning country artists like the Outlaws, I would say.
Sure.
Yeah. So how is your feeling about all the honestly the pop stars coming out in the scene now and having like internationally a lot of success?
Yeah.
I mean, just Post Malone has a number 5 on the German charts. We have this year this line dance thing here. There's Austin and the bar song, which is like rocking here in Germany.
This is what I think, man. I think, speaking of Rowdy, I wish Rowd was here to see just how far good country, how much influence it. The people that want to get into country until country was like really good again. You know what I mean? And now everybody's like, oh, that's cool. Because it is cool. We've been saying that though, you know, for almost 20 years. Rowdy wouldn't believe it, man, if he saw just how big true country spirit was now, you know what I mean? And how popular it was and is. And I think it's great. The more the merrier. As long as we got something to say, you know, as long as there's something true being said and it's not just a money grab and it's not just like taking advantage of the market or that sort of thing. That's the only thing I have ever had a problem with is when people are writing to like trick a demographic, you know, and make money off of folks. I like it when people, I mean, country music is soul music, you know. Let your soul soar, let it sing, you know.
And I think you will be blown away when you see how much the country music market grew in Germany in the past 5-6 years since you were here. Because today we have like 500, 600
That's what I heard.
people, and first time you were here, you were like playing for 20 or 30. So thanks for coming back constantly, man.
Glad to be here, man. You already heard that there's like a younger crowd out there too, which is one last thing is that I think it's amazing. The last time I was here, there were, you know, kids that were in like middle school. They weren't even in the, you know, grown up enough to like listen and come to shows. And now in the last 6 years, these kids are like college age now and they're into country music, dude. That's pretty awesome.
So,
yeah.
Thank you so much
dude.
for your time here today. Brent Cobb, Sound of Nashville Open Air. Thanks so much.
Cheers, man. Good to see you, brother. Yeah. Thanks, dude. Thanks. I did not even remember